Continuing our discussion about the international and national perspective on cybersecurity, I'd like to draw your attention to the U.S. Department of Defense published strategy that you can access online. We've also provided you a link in this course so that you can read the public version of this particular strategy for the purpose of recognizing that countries are beginning to wrestle with cybersecurity and the need for a strategy to incorporate for national defense. Again, going back to the escalating threat spectrum and the fact that we now have nation states with very different intents from cyber criminals online executing various strategies, we need to understand how nation states need to respond. So it's interesting, there were several strategic goals outlined in this particular publication. For one, there was a recognition that we need to build cyber-ready forces. Now, that has been going on in major countries around the world for a couple of decades now, but there's a stated recognition that these forces need to be grown and maintained, and they need to be ready for response. Secondly, obviously, a strategy would be to defend the U.S. government's own networks. But the third strategy is interesting to me, that the Department of Defense with the U.S. government has to be prepared to defend the homeland against significant cyber attacks. And what does that really mean? Well, certainly in the case of the United States, we've been protected by oceans and countries that are friendly on both sides, so we haven't had to deal with the ravages of war. But certainly for all countries, the idea that the interconnectedness that we are experiencing online is changing how we exist in the world as nation states, as citizens, really makes one stop and think, what do we mean about protecting ourselves against cyber nation-state activities? And as we have talked in this particular module, the existence of critical infrastructure that's vital to the survivability of a society, the fact that those infrastructures are now online and potentially vulnerable, has the potential of wide-ranging implications and consequences to populations that may experience cyber attack, whether it be on a grid, a power grid, whether it be on the water systems, whether it be on any number of systems, the traffic systems, the communication systems. We need to begin to think about vulnerabilities of our nation states in ways they've not been vulnerable before. A very interesting read might be to go out to the internet and look at the 2007 Estonian War, which was the first incident agreed upon by experts, first incident of cyber war in the world. And this, of course, led to Estonia setting up their Cyber Center of Excellence where they could study the implications and consequences of a cyber attack. It's a very interesting case study because there were about 6 internet pipes into Estonia. They were essentially shut off for a certain period of time, and you could really look at what are the consequences and what are the results of a cyber war on a society that's highly dependent on its networks. This eventually led to standing up the Center of Excellence in Tallinn and resulted in the Tallinn manuals. Further looking at the U.S. DoD cyber strategy, we're looking at a recognized need to build and maintain viable options for cyber response and to build and maintain robust international alliances that would assist with defense. Now, that document, as I mentioned, is available publicly. It is posted online, and I would encourage you to take a look at it because I'm certain that there are similar documents for other countries. I mean, it's basically putting us as citizens on notice that we need to be thinking about the bigger picture, the implications of nation-state involvement with activities online.